rebuild of Paris Notre Dame Cathedral is gathering pace. The historic building had been severely damaged by fire in 2019. French officials have promised to return it to its former glory. Construction crews are using century-old trees for the tallest piece of the project.
It was one of the most heartbreaking sights of a tragic afternoon. The towering spire of the Cathedral of Notre Dame came crashing to the ground as a devastating fire swept through the roof. But now, a more encouraging image of spires crashing down. In a forest south of Le Mans, France, a harvest of mighty oaks is underway. The first of 200-year-old trees needed to rebuild the spire and roof support beams destroyed by the fire. In all, 1,000 trees will be needed.
Well, there's been some opposition from environmental groups about the use of centuries-old trees to rebuild Notre Dame. The forestry people here say it's a testament to the richness of natural resources in this country that in this forest alone there are more than 100,000 trees that are over 150 years old.
At the church itself, there is no resounding pipe organ playing just yet, but as CNN discovered when it got rare access to the cathedral, the walls have been cleaned and stabilized. Some of the stained glass windows and ancient stone statuary already restored. There remains a gaping hole in the roof, though, covered only with plastic to keep out the elements. For that, workers are now building 90-foot-tall walls of scaffolding inside the cathedral, which will eventually support a temporary platform for restoring Notre Dame's unique vaulted ceiling, much of which was destroyed or damaged in the fire. Architects say once the platform is in place, precisely engineered wooden arches will provide the bracing to reconstruct the styrofoam stone ceiling vaults. Once all that is done, the engineers will turn their attention to rebuilding the roof itself, reconstructing the spire, and replacing the interior roof beams using the oak that is now being cut, exactly in the same fashion as those that were destroyed in the fire.
There were hundreds of ideas from the public suggesting more modern ways to rebuild Notre Dame, but in the end, President Macron decided that it should be rebuilt exactly as it was, albeit with better fire protection.
Reconstructing the cathedral as it was seems to be more or less a popular idea.
It's a cultural building. It belongs to everybody. So I think it's very important for everybody to rebuild it in the same way, I think, in the classical way.
We should respect the monument and the century when it was made and the methods that were used to build it.
Back amid the ancient oaks, knowing they'll be used for a noble purpose suits the forestry managers just fine.
We know it's the end of something, but it's the beginning of something else. This piece of wood is going to have a second life, and maybe even longer than the life he had in the forest.